In this class, you're gonna build a complete application to show how to use the Net native module in Node.js to create chat applications in practice. We're gonna use a lot of Node.js streams, and I hope you like it. So let's check this out. Let's close all examples we had from our last class. I'm gonna create 5, and I'll call it project chat, okay? We're gonna create 2 files, which will be the first one, it's server, okay? And the second one is the client, okay? So we're gonna have only one server, and we can have thousands of clients if we need, okay? Okay, so first, let's go to this server, and we're gonna create a server, a net server using only Node.js. Let's import net from node.net, okay? And then let's create our server, which will be net.create server, okay? And then we're gonna have our callback with a socket. So HTTP was built on top of the net modules. Everything we use for HTTP Node.js is actually basically used on net. Nice. It's actually the raw networking protocol. Perfect. So first of all, socket is a duplex string. This means that we can pipe it to itself, okay? And then I'm gonna listen to a port, which will be 3000. And I'm gonna put the console.log. Server is running at 3000. Okay. Perfect. So we have a server, and now we need a client to connect to our server. The same way, I'm gonna import net from node.net. But now it's a bit different. I'm gonna grab the data from our std_in, which is a readable string, right? And then everything you write on the terminal is gonna be redirected to the server. Ooh. So I'm gonna pipe it to net.connect to 3000, which is the address of our server. And then I can pipe it to our process std_out, okay? So everything that's gonna go through our server in the net, we're gonna print out on this client. So let's go to our 5. I'm gonna need two actually terminals here. I'm gonna open the one server and then the client. Oops. Here, module 05, right? And 2. Now, if I write something, we can see this going back and forth, okay? Nice. What does it mean? This means that our server is receiving data and sending back to our client, okay? Perfect. So what we could do with it, we could do something better here. So first of all, I'm gonna listen for a connection here, okay? So connection, and then I'm gonna grab this socket. So I'm gonna address an ID. So from node crypto random UID for each client I have. So I'm gonna address a random UID, okay? This is how we can redirect data to specific clients here. The goal is I have a lot of customers connected. When I send a message here, I should redirect this message to all the customers but me, okay? So I'm gonna write console.log new connection, and then the socket ID we just created. Nice. I'm gonna create also a database user. So users, new map, just to use map more often. And I'm gonna use users set socket ID, and then this socket, so we can handle this later as well. Perfect. Once I have a connection, I'll try sending some messages. So socket.write. I'm gonna write to a message there, which will be in string. Always a string when we are handling sockets, okay? And then I'm gonna say that I'm gonna use ID, but I won't print out the whole ID. I will just print the maybe 4 characters, okay? And then when I have some closing connections, I could say this user was disconnected, right? So disconnected socket ID, and then I can remove it, okay? Delete socket.id. So this way I can avoid trying to send message to a user that is disconnected. I'm gonna save server and I'm gonna open then again. Right now we can see that I had a new connection, and actually on the client side I received the message from our server, and then if I try sending a message, I'm getting back this whole thing, okay? I'm getting back because I'm receiving data and actually piping to who actually sent a message, okay? So this doesn't mean a thing for us right now, but we're gonna do something better. Okay, let's try working a bit more on our client side. So first of all, as we have in chats, I would say we could write this thing better. So let's say I'm gonna create here an output. So const output. In Node.js streams, what is the output? Yes, a writable stream. So I'm gonna use writable. I'm gonna write our write function, encoding, callback. Don't forget to call our callback. Perfect. Well, we just got a message, right, from here. So I'm gonna actually send more data. Like I want to receive both messages and the ID to know which was the sender that sent this message. So first of all, I'm gonna grab some data from JSON parse chunk, okay, ID and message. Well, in this way, I'm using the non-object mode, right? But when I try JSON parsing this data, I actually can have it as JSON. I don't need to parse to string first and then get the data. Well, if the message is there, I'm gonna print out something. If it's not, I'm gonna do something else, okay? So let's try creating our log function. I'm gonna create a very specific log functions. I would say a very hacky. So go with me. I'm gonna import the read line from node read line, okay? And then I'm gonna say where will be, então read line will be cursor to process std out index 0, and then process std out write, and then I write the message, okay? Well, what does it mean? Every time I use console.log, we can see that we have a message, a break line, and everything else, okay? What I want here is to write everything in the same line. When you are typing, it's gonna be typing at the same line. Nice. Let's see how it's gonna go. So log, when I'm using log, so reply from ID, okay? And I receive the message. Otherwise, it's just the first message we received from our server. So my username, and then I'm gonna have the ID here, and I will break a line, okay? And then I'm gonna log here a type, okay? So when I start typing, you're gonna see type, and I will write right after this line. So I'm gonna save it, and I'm gonna use this output as our output here. So I'm gonna stop our client. I will start again and see, I just received my username, which is a bit odd, right? It shouldn't be this way. Because I haven't restarted the server. So I start again. Yeah, my username, no, something got wrong. It's not split, it's a splice. So stop the server, run the client again. Oops. Socket ID. Oh, it's slice. Node server 2 again. Oh, now there you go. I have just a piece of my whole ID, okay? So now I can see my type is there, right? Ooh, we don't have any message, it seems, but we are receiving a lot of things here. Nice, nice, nice. So I would say our server is almost there. Our client is almost there, but I will do just one more thing, okay? So whenever I write something here, like it's, if I write something here that is empty, it's breaking out. Okay, let's go back to the server and then we can adjust later. Okay, now we should create our broadcast system, right? To send message to all our users here. So, const string broadcaster will be, we're gonna receive our socket, okay? So we can handle the IDs and everything else. And I'm gonna return a writable string, okay? Writable. Same thing, write. Chunk, encoding, callback. Always call the callback. And then what I'm gonna do here is, instead piping out to the socket, I will actually pipe to our broadcast system, okay? And now I'm gonna send this socket to there. So whenever we have a message now, I'm not replying back anymore. I'm just grabbing this result here. But remember, a writable string could redirect data to the output, which would be other streams as well. So our stream here, what's gonna do? Well, first of all, I'm gonna create an object called data string file, and I'll have our message, right? Which will be our chunk to string, and I will have the ID here. So socket ID. I'll use the same thing I'm using here. I actually could create a function, but I won't lose time. I won't waste our time here, okay? Perfect. After it, I have the whole thing here, but I would actually send message to all the customers, right? So if I do this, I should have const notify subscribers, okay? We're gonna notify with our socket ID and the data we have all the users that are connected, okay? So I'm gonna grab all the users values, okay? I'm gonna put just a break line here so it's gonna be easier, and then I'm gonna avoid myself, okay? I won't try. So user, if the user ID is different than our socket ID, then I could actually send messages, right? What I did wrong here. User ID, socket ID, is something missing? Oh, here. Okay. And then for each iteration that I have, so I'm gonna use for each user, and then I'm using the user right. I will actually call it, it's user socket. So I think it's gonna be user socket. So we know what we are doing here. And then I'm gonna write the data. So see, I'm actually notifying all the users on our network, but me. I'm actually ignoring who actually sent this message. So it's gonna be smarter, right? Now we can call it from our stream broadcaster. So we have the socket ID and data. Ooh, will this work? Let's see. So I'm gonna stop our server. I'll start our client and see my username. I actually should create more users, right? So I'm gonna open more on terminal, open our client again, and see I have a different ID, right? Because my username is different. I will say hey. So see, the hey is not appearing for the client, for the user who actually sent it, but other users. If I try sending more, but if I try sending empty things here, we can see that our terminal is not respecting our type anymore, right? So I think we should work a bit more on our client here. So for our client, I'm gonna use the pass-through, okay, just to clean out the terminal as soon as we finish typing, okay? So I'm gonna use it as reset chat after send, and I'm gonna use the pass-through, okay? So once we have data, I won't use this data because I don't want to, but I will just log our type, okay? And then I'm gonna pipe it to our reset chat. So whenever I wrote something, I will actually put it there. So I'm gonna stop our clients. I'm gonna run again and run again. Now, if I type enter without anything, it's gonna be sending, but our terminal, it's okay. Nice. Oh, see everything working, my friend. And actually we can create more and more clients if we need to. So see, we have different IDs and we are just redirecting data from there. Everyone else is receiving data from customers. Well, what we learned here, we use a pass-through to just reset our terminal, okay? It won't interfere on the flow of our application. It's just cleaning out our terminal so we can send and receive messages. We are receiving data from our writable stream here using a hacky log to just print out in a same line that we are writing. Otherwise, we should write in the next line. On our server, we have a duplex string, but I'm not using the duplex. I'm just using the readable string, and I actually wrote my custom writable string here. Well, because I wrote my writable string, I actually could notify all users that are connected in the network, but me, right? I'm just ignoring myself here, so I won't receive my own messages. Well, with it, you can think a lot of other use cases, right? So you can do a lot using Node.js with it. Don't forget to evaluate this class by clicking on the star below. And if you have any questions, use our comment section or our Discord channel to discuss it with other students. I hope this class has exceeded your expectations. I'm Eric Wendell, and I'll see you in the next class.